may take churning, whirling thrill rides like these to attract crowds to a carnival midway. But maintaining the loyalty of riders over generations requires continuity of ownership, and that's a key to the success of the Coleman family.
I'm fourth generation. I am the great-granddaughter of Dick Coleman. My grandfather is Bob Coleman. My grandmother's Rachael Coleman. They are the current owners of the carnival, and my mother and my Uncle Tim run the show.
There's another important element afoot here.
It's a tradition, you know, because we've been in Connecticut 100 years now, so everybody knows our name.
No, I would say it's very much traditional. I mean, you know, my father was broke in by my grandfather, I was broke in by him, so we still have old values, you know.
Timmy moves the show, Timmy gets the show up, and my nephew helps him get it up and moves. Everybody here is a family, just not just the immediate family. We even our help is all family. We have a lot of guys that have been here for over 20-something years.
There's generations that have come through our carnival as well. Parents bring their kids or their grandkids.
By their intent, the Colemans have kept the size of their carnival relatively stable. About 24 rides, 15 games, and a half dozen food stands.
We've had all the basics. We've always had the basics. You know.
Merry Ground, I would say, is always popular. The slide and the giant wheel.
Family rides. We try to keep a mixture of everything. You got to have a mixture of everything to make a complete carnival.
Most popular is Thunderbolt, Starship. For kid ride, it's like the slide. Twin Flip does pretty well out here, new, but it's pretty intense, so it's not something you can repeat ride.
Twin Flip was a new one that we got, and then I've started to learn a lot more of this European technology, and I'm glad that we did get it, because now that's basically going to be the future.
The family has upgraded their lineup of rides. They also have seen change among ridership along their 25 community route in Connecticut, New York, and Massachusetts.
It seems like we don't get as many families. It seems like there's more teenagers. You do still get families, but kids today are definitely not like the kids they were before. No, they've changed a lot.
Kids just don't wake up the same they used to. I mean, they're not going out to play early on Saturday mornings. They're sleeping in. I did the same thing when I was a teenager, so I don't think it's really getting harder. They're still going to come out. It's just a different atmosphere. But other than that, basically, Carnival's still the same concept.
A lot of our fairs we've played for 40, 50 years. A lot of our places in the spring, so people came and then they bring their kids.
Well, I try to play a lot of the same lots, but unfortunately, as anybody that books shows knows, that the lots disappear. They build buildings on them, or different reasons. I think we do a good job with what we have to work with, and we're trying to constantly make it better. You can only do so much and do it right, and how much is enough? But you can find a happy medium, and I think that's again another key. Where do you want to go?
Where would I like to see it going? I mean, I just want to keep it going maybe another 100 years. I don't know. We got to find a next generation to take it over.
We raised 4 kids, and the other family members raise their kids here.
And we enjoy what we're doing. And I mean, sometimes it's frustrating. I mean, when you're at lots where you can't get on, or, sometimes the kids are out of control or whatever, but for the most part, it's a happy environment that you're living in.
At this point, the passing of the torch to the next generation may not come too soon.
Well, I got a 16-year-old, so I don't see retirement anytime soon. So I just go until I can't go anymore, I guess.
I have to work till I drop, unfortunately. I don't think I'm going to be like my dad at 90 still doing this, I think.
The business. It's in your blood. It's part of you. I'm too old to make a career change. What am I going to do?
But there's a lingering image among some of the public that the Coleman family is attempting to change.
What I like is to change their perception of the so-called carny. That's what I like to change their perception that, we're not mean, dirty people. We're actually just like you, So it's our name. They don't know Joe Schmo from Adam, but they know the Coleman name, and that's my name, and I want to make my family proud.
In the meantime, at least one major problem is exacting a toll on daily carnival operations.
The labor's what's worrying me. The health situation's getting tougher and tougher.
And that's the subject of our next report.
the weather is. If the show has to come down, we got to be out in the rain. Or if the show's got to go up, we got to be out in the rain. And we don't go nowhere until it's done.
It's not easy work. There's got to be somebody that's scared of heights or could lift some 60 to 80 pounds, you could say.
It's not easy. There's not a lot of guys that can do what these guys do. I've had some guys that have been around me for 20, 25 years, so I mean, I've been fortunate with them.
I've been with Timmy probably 35 years. I move the slide for him. I drive and drive and drive till we get it all moved.
I've been here since I was 17 and I'm 53.
You're what?
53. I do the start ship, I do Saturdays and station, and I do whatever I can do around, to help people to get it done.
It's hard to get key guys that want to stay around.
We got a lot of people that have been with us for a long time, and then you get the handful that come and go, especially on Wednesday night when it's pay night.
Traveling carnivals are perpetually short of workers, and Coleman Brothers Shows is no exception. The help wanted sign at the front gate is a sure indication.
If we get green help, every day we take more people in because we need somebody to help us to tear down and set up these rides.
They'll come in and start tearing down and setting up. They'll make a move. They'll break down. They'll set up, and then if they think they want to travel, they'll go on to the next lot, and we'll put a guy with them for 4 or 5 days, breaking them in, training them how to run a ride and how to do the daily check sheets and the maintenance. And then if they stay, they stay, and if they don't, they don't. 9 times out of 10, they won't.
Yes, that's what you see a lot now. We have like our main guys that have been here for years, but then we have a few that come and go. I mean, some weeks we lose 1, some weeks you lose 10. I don't know, but we keep it going. That's what we do.
The reasons for joining a carnival are many. For some, it might be a stopgap measure. Take this construction veteran, for example.
A concrete worker.
Yeah?
And got laid off, and this was an opportunity to come out and do this. And I run the zipper on the Coleman Brothers Carnival rides. Been doing it probably a couple months now.
Been in the carnival almost 3 months. I was here 15 years ago, but I left the show and came back to the show.
This is my first year in 14 years. I was on there 14 years ago. I usually every 2-3 years and I get tired of it and go back driving truck.
Yet another consideration might sway the stay or leave decision.
We're just a seasonal business, so it's hard for a guy to come here and work for 6-7 months and then have to go find a job or go out on unemployment.
For those who choose to stay, the reasons are equally compelling, if not obvious.
Made a lot of money driving truck, and I enjoy it, but I enjoy handling the steel, which it doesn't pay as well, but it keeps the roof under my feet.
And I was fortunate, even my wife decided to come out on the show with me. So she's enjoying it. She didn't think she was going to like it, and now I'll be lucky if I can get her to leave.
Some people, this is more of a lifestyle to me than a job. We do drink alcohol on occasion, but we watch television, play video games, play cards. It's like a big family atmosphere. Kind of reminds me of the military.
They take care of each other. You know what I mean? I mean, they really do. And that was surprising.
The bond you make with everybody here, that's pretty much what you enjoy. You don't enjoy the work, And we have a lot of guys that have been here for over 20-something years that, sometimes put a smile on your face when you're angry.
It's in the blood. It's in the blood. After you start, you can't quit. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah, it's a good life. You make money. Sometimes it's tough. You go through a lot of aggravation, but we get through it.
Well, people just don't want to do manual labor, I don't think, anymore. It's all gone to computers and video games, and people can sit on their butts and do whatever they want to do with a computer. I mean, they can do virtually anything, which out here, it's got to be manual. I mean, you really don't want to grow any bigger or get any more extravagant rides because you just can't find the help to move them.
In the meantime, there are rides to set up and operate.
A lot of people wonder, how is it that you put it together so heavy?
So stick with it for a behind-the-scenes inspection of this challenging task. When you step foot onto a brightly festooned midway, you expect everything to be on the up and up. And as we'll see, that's the goal of carnival owners and workers. It's 9 o'clock on a midweek morning in May, and the Coleman Brothers Shows is ready for its pre-opening inspection on this Connecticut lot.
I'm the Deputy Fire Marshal for the town of Stratford, and we're inspecting the carnival site, all the vendors, just to make sure all their propane, fire extinguishers, electrical connections, and stuff like that are up to code. Every amusement ride in the state of Connecticut, the State Fire Marshal's office, which they're all state troopers, specially trained, they come and inspect, they make sure the gates are a certain distance apart, all the rides are put together properly, and that everything is safe.
Every time we move, we have a state inspection. They're looking for blocking, and they're looking for, you know, any cracks or anything like that. I mean, they're looking for structural stuff, but it's always nice to have that extra set of eyes, you know.
As he lays out the designated spaces for each ride, game, and food stand, Tim Coleman is mindful of state and local regulations governing carnival operations. And so are the experienced workers.
Well, you got to have a fire lane all the way around the whole complete perimeter for a fire truck if they have a fire. If I remember, it's 6 foot between the little rides, kiddie rides, 12 foot through major rides, from ride to ride, because, you know, things swing out and stuff. If you have a pin, you got to have the right size R key in it. You can't use a small one. You got to have the right size pin for the hole.
The setup of rides and attractions takes up most of 2 days and nights. Every effort goes into meeting the inspection deadline.
Sometimes we're out for 30 hours without sleeping until everything's done. Because everything, you know, the inspectors come through and everything has to be 100%. So nobody goes anywhere until it's 100%.
Hundreds of wooden blocks and this ever-present carpenter's tool ensure that each ride rests on a precisely level foundation.
You gotta level it right. If it's not leveled, you gotta restart the whole thing and do it all over again.
Tackling these rides requires a strong back, a firm grip, attention to details, the ability to function as a part of a team, and patience, lots of patience. Following the comprehensive inspection, workers put the final touches on the midway and grab a few hours of well-earned rest. From this point on, during Coleman Brothers' week-and-a-half run in Stratford, the primary task is to safely operate some 24 rides and attractions, from the newest to the oldest.
They do take wear and tear. I mean, they are a device, a machine that's turning, and they will break, you know, and the best thing to do is try to stay on top of them as much as you can.
I mean, I check them every day. We have daily check sheets. Every time we disassemble and move, the state comes in and they go through the stuff with us.
Well, it's like an automobile. You gotta always maintain and do all your checks and greasing, and as long as you keep your maintenance up, things should last forever. So that's basically what we do.
On opening night, ride operators turn their attention to fun-seeking youngsters and their parents.
I could see kids and adults happy. That's all I care. They safe, they're happy, it's all good with me.
And the folks who run these stands invite you to indulge your taste buds with a few of these carnival favorites, and to try your luck or skill at any of these enticing games.
Water, win prizes, jump in, join the fun.
That's the subject of our next report. Recommending that you watch where you step on the midway, I'm Lane Talburt. The attraction to games often starts young among carnival goers. So does the lure of treats that you can usually find nowhere else. The man who oversees these stands, however, is a realist.
You know, let's face it, people come here to ride the rides first. They grab something to eat, and the games are probably the last thing.
Anthony Oakes recognizes the value of games to the carnival and to the people from each community who play them.
I would say every game I have, there's a winner every time. You know, may it be a water game, may it be a goldfish or whatever. If you're going to stay in the concession business today, you got to throw more merchandise than you ever did, or you're not going to last. Because if there's no winners, there's no players, and the people are so much educated than they were, say, years ago. You got to give more to get more back. So if the people go home with stuff in their arms, they're going to come back next year.
Among the concessionaires on the Coleman Brothers Midway is the daughter of Anthony and Mary Oakes, who runs the cotton candy stand.
I watched my grandmother make it, I watched my mother make it, now I make it, watched my aunt make it, and my other cousin, Kristy Coleman. She has a French fry and a funnel cake stand. Everybody's pretty much family owned and operated, and the other concessionaires that aren't family, they've been around, they pretty much are family. They've all watched us kids grow up. I like traveling. I like never being in the same place. I've never been one to want to put down roots.
Rachael Oakes is not the only concessionaire who seeks this nomadic lifestyle.
I'm a gamer. I set my game up, I tear it down, I pack it up, and move it ready for travel to the next spot.
You see new things, you meet new people. It's nice to have a change of scenery every week. You're never in the same place, so you never get bored.
The interaction, to me, that's the reward.
To be certain, not every game player comes away with a big stuffed animal, nor does being a gamer guarantee success.
Every day something new comes along in our business. So, yeah, it's a great education. You can't buy it.
And this longtime food stand worker can attest to that.
This is my first year of the game.
And how is it?
It's a learning experience right now.
What do you have to learn? What do you have to pick up on?
Different things to do. I mean, different ways to handle people, talk to people, the stock prizes, it's all kinds of things you learn. It's nowhere as easy as I thought it was going to be. That's for sure.
What's the key to making money on a booth like this?
I haven't figured that out yet. If I had that down pat, I wouldn't still be out here.
Every race there's a winner, and every winner gets a prize.
For the past 100 years, children have been bonding with their parents on this Connecticut-based carnival.
Hey, high
For 3-year-old Ethan Juarez, the Coleman Brothers Midway is his everyday playground, while his parents Freddie and Rosie Juarez and his sister Jennifer tend to their food stand. Ethan roams the rows of rides and booths under the watchful eyes of his doting family and carnival workers.
Say hi, my name is Ethan, and I work in the carnival, and I cook the best food in the Midway, right?
He was actually, we were in the Shelton, Connecticut Fair when he was born 3 years ago. Because he was born here, he was raised here, so this is like his home. So he knows everyone here.
Why not?
One of Ethan's biggest admirers is Tim Coleman, who directs carnival operations.
up here, Mr. Timmy calls him the king of the fair.
I was born here. 60 years. I'm 60 years old. When I was 3, I drove a truck through the girl show, knocked the whole girl show down. So that's about as I don't know if I remember it, but everybody tells me so.
Fourth-generation Coleman family members also can relate to Ethan's upbringing.
First ride I touched was my grandfather's bumper cars. And it was me and my cousin Timmy were 13 years old, and we used to move it with one green help, and we used to get paid $20 to set it up and $20 to tear it down, and we thought it was the world.
I have been here since I was 3 months old. I started working when I was probably about 5 or 6, helping my mom in the French fry, just learning to take cash, and people would be amazed that I could make change for 50 or 100 at 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, my great-grandfather started the carnival in 1916, and my grandfather, he's not going to be 91 this year, so I told him the carnival made 100 years, so he's got to make it at least 100 years.
Compared to the Coleman family and other longtime employees, Ethan's family are relative newcomers to this wandering band.
This is the fair that used to come to my town. This is my childhood fair. One day my dad decided to ask around or something, and he talked to Mr. Timmy about giving us an opportunity to travel with him to try it out in our hometown. And we tried it out, we liked it, then we went to the next one and we liked that one too, so we just kept going with it, and 5 years later we're still here.
Trying to keep up with the high-spirited Ethan Juarez on the Coleman Brothers shows, I'm Lane Tell.
Hey, Ethan.
Well, this is where all the carnies, all in the morning, they come eat their breakfast, drink coffee, get the night garbage, talking about what happened the night before.
If you want the skinny on what's going on behind the scenes at Coleman Brothers Carnival, just talk to the man who runs this Midway hangout.
Al and BT with Al's Concessions. I have a grab joint, sausage, steak, and all that stuff.
Al is not about to share the nitty-gritty of the show gossip, but he hears a lot of it.
Fun to sit here and listen to them because you learn a lot of stuff from them. I'll tell you, with these ride jacks, it all depends on what they did the night before. But there is a lot of different personalities, a lot of arguing. But overall, they all work together, they eat together, and they get along pretty good. But you do have a little squabbles now and then.
On each lot along the Coleman Brothers route in Connecticut and New York, Al prepares his stand while workers set up rides, games, and other attractions. And after putting in hard nights and days assembling the tons of steel and miles of cable, the crews head for the carnival diner.
I cook breakfast in the morning for employees. A couple of days a week I do a little lunch special for them. Breakfast, they can, just like a regular diner, I have everything you want. Omelets, French toast, pancakes, bacon, sausage, ham, eggs anyway. That gets them going, hopefully. Then they gather here at before they go to work, a good hour before they go to work. Have coffee, drink, burgers, whatever they want.
And then what do customers ask for?
Well, I got a variety of stuff here. I sell a lot of sausage, a lot of steak. They really, the clientele around here, the people around here, they go for the chili dogs, real good, cheese dog.
Tell me about the food that you go through in a week.
Well, in the morning time, I'll probably go through 4 18-pack eggs. I go through, 15, 20-pound box of sausage, breakfast sausage and bacon. In the morning. It varies on the nighttime when you're doing your stuff for regular crew. I've got some fairs. I'll do 400 or 500 pounds of sausage in a week. Out here in the springtime, you might see 100, 150 pounds some spots. It's a difference in crowd. You don't have as many people in the spring as you do with your fair season.
Why did you get into this business?
I had an injury at the job I was working, and I started working with a guy that had one of these joints, and after a year working with him, I brought him out.
So how long have you been doing this?
Since 1990. A quarter of a century with Coleman Brothers shows. We have a little pride in what we do. My personal thing is I love to see the guys fed. I like to, make sure they eat. I like to see them happy. You get the experienced ride guys. They have a tough job, especially with greenhorns, but it's experienced guys that keep the show moving. And then you do have, like you say, the greenhorns just learning the business, and it's a little tough at times with them, but we get through it. Pick a pin, we get through it.
So, tell me about your inspection today, what they were looking for.
The first impression when a health person comes is when they first walk up to your joint. The first impression with them is a big thing. And you keep a clean joint, what have you. And, all sanitary things is a big thing with the health department. They keep the not only employees but the regular people safe. My grills are original grills, 25, 26 years old, and I have a lot of health people come in to me and say, I'm going to take you down to some of my restaurants and show them how to clean a grill. It's nothing special. I just use grill brick grease and little elbow grease. That's all. The grills make you money. You got to take care of them.
What do you get out of doing this?
I get the satisfaction out of it. I love being out there. I'm very proud of being part of the Coleman Brothers shows. Any spot I go to, I get a lot of people come to me every year. I mean, if you don't have that, you're not going to survive. You have to have your people coming back to you.
From Al's Concessions on Coleman Brothers Carnival, I'm Lane Talburt. Bon appetit.